So as we all know, the 4th of July is coming up. And as a black man, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The more I've learned about this country, and they tell me I should be patriotic. They tell me I should love the country. But the more I read about the history, the less I love it. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, welcome for the first time. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe only if you like the content. Now, the reason for this video today is because I saw a clip of Dr. Eddie Glaude, and he was on, I believe, Stephanie Ruhl's show on MS Now, and he made the statement of he doesn't love the country, doesn't love America. And so it got me to thinking about something I've thought about in the past about black people's relationship to this country, about what black people who know their history, about what they see when they see the American flag, because that flag, as I've said before, has different meanings to different people. Good things have been done under that flag, liberation, but atrocities have been committed under that flag. So everybody's not going to view it the same way, and especially black people who have been in this country since the country, well, before it was even a country. We've been in this land since before America was a country. So I want to get into that subject today, and I'm going to start off by playing Eddie Glaude's clip. Let's talk about it.
Do not love America, and I never have, especially now. Really?
Yeah. I grew up in Mississippi.
You live a beautiful life.
Yeah, I worked hard for it. And, I think it's important for me to say this. My dad was the second African-American hired at the post office in Pascagoula, Mississippi, afforded the opportunity to move us to the other side of town. I had my Tonka truck outside, playing with those old Tonka trucks with my new friend, and his dad came out and said, "Stop playing with that N-word." And at that moment, America told me what it thought about me. And I had to go inside, and my parents had to teach me how to survive it. So the question becomes, from whence the expectation, given my formation? And part of what I'm trying to say with that sentence, Stephanie, is that I don't believe in the idolatry of the state. I'm not interested in loving abstractions or things that are so morally dubious that, what we've been talking about. The power of the country is in the people. It's in we the people. It's in everyday folk. That's where my love is, close to the ground. And it's not just with my family, but it's with all the other folks. Ralph Ellison says the most powerful thing about democracy is it's at its best is a disinterested form of love. I want the best for you, even though if I don't know you.
Now, I'll be brutally honest, like I always am. When I make these videos and stuff, I don't have a script. I'm basically just giving y'all everything off the top of the dome. When I heard that clip, it's like, okay, every time black people have tried to progress in this country, they've always pushed us back, right? I'm talking about historically, just in general. He says how I used to feel. I want the best for everybody. I want the best for everybody, even if I don't know you. I used to feel that way. I don't feel that way anymore. I don't. Okay? I want the best for black people. I want the best for my people. I don't want the best for everybody else. I'm not saying that to be controversial or nothing. I'm just being honest. Look around the internet. You see how people get to show how racist they truly are, whether it's bots, whether they're doing it for clicks and views or whatever. It doesn't matter. For me, I'm not going to sell myself out to put content out on the internet or act a certain way that I'm not. I'm giving y'all the 100 truth, authenticity. I'm not going to go online and make a bunch of racist statements because, oh, this is going to net me a bunch of money because I'm going to get a bunch of engagement. No, these people are really like that. And ever since Trump was elected in 2016, the floodgates have opened. And they're just out in the open with it now. Haven't you all noticed? More people are more brazen They jump online. They call black people the N-word. Fucking Chud the Builder. Prime example. You want me to love the country when it's people like Chud the Builder that are still in it. Current day, present day. Because I'm going to get into the historical facts. But we talking present day. 4th of July come around, black people supposed to be all patriotic. And don't get me wrong, I can't speak for every single black person, because there are some black people that are actually patriotic, whether they served in the military or have a family history of serving in the military. They feel a certain way about the country, and I, in no way, shape, or form, am trying to challenge that. I can't speak for you. Your relationship is different. My grandfather served in the Vietnam War. Came back alive, messed him up. What they used to call it, shell-shocked. But you have people like Chud and all the people that support him and all the people that are online saying all this horrific shit against black people. But then when black people respond, when we respond with our memes and we respond with what we say against white people, we're looked at as the bad folks. Like it's just written in stone that you should be able to criticize and critique black people. Now, I don't love the country. I'll come out and tell you that. I don't love the country of America. For what? Why? Why should I love the country? The country's never loved me. I'm just using common sense here. Fair is fair. Right is right. You want me to love a nation that don't love my people. I'm not making this, I'm not saying this to be controversial, or I'm not doing this for clicks or whatever. I'm just making it known. I don't hate America. If that's what you're thinking, because when you don't love something, the first thing they'll say is, oh, so you hate it. No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it, nor do I love it. When I was developing a love for America when I was young, and I didn't know any better because I didn't do a lot of reading of history until I got older. And then I started learning the true history, not the bullshit they teach you in school. When I started learning the real history, that's when it made me think. That's when it clicked. Why should we love this country as black people when they shit on us? They shit on us every opportunity, every chance they get. We elected the first black president. He wasn't FBA, but he was the first black president in America. They elected him twice. As I stated publicly, I never voted for Barack Obama. Not because I didn't like him. I didn't vote for him because I knew he was going to win. See, I'm old enough to remember how bad times were when Bush was in power. Shit was bad back then. And people were saying it then, like, Bush's economy may have been so bad that they may elect the first black man. And it did. Oh, I remember that time very fondly. But look what happened after 2 terms of President Obama. You get the racist carnage. It's always that white lash that always comes back because they don't like progress. Anytime we start progressing forward to try to make this a more perfect union, like they always claim, they always say, we should try to make this a more perfect union. Well, we've been trying to do that, but we have people like the people that are in the Republican Party. Yes, I'm going to make this slightly political, but Democrats, you're not off the hook either, because there's a lot of racist, white fucking liberals in that party, which is why I'm not a fucking Democrat. You see, it is 2 sides of the same coin. It is 2 wings of the same bird. You have people in both parties that are trying to uphold white supremacy. That's what they believe. And people of color are finally starting to wake up and see this, especially in the Democratic Party. Now, there's a whole debacle going on right now in Texas where they're mad at Jasmine Crockett because she's not supporting James Tallarico, which I don't blame her. I don't live in Texas, but I wouldn't vote for his ass either. Now, I'm not trying to influence you. You do whatever the fuck you want. You want to vote for him, go ahead. I'm just saying, if I lived there, I wouldn't vote for his ass either. Jasmine was the best choice. But whenever America needs to feel safe, they always put a white person in that spot. I've seen this time and time again. That's why I kind of take myself out of politics just a little bit, not completely, because I still need to be aware of what's going on out here in the world. You don't ever want to be completely blissfully ignorant about the people that have the power to change laws to affect your life, to either make it better or worse. But I'm about to give you some historical examples about the conflicted relationship that black people have with this country. Slavery in colonial era, 1619 to 1865. 1619, first 20 enslaved Africans arrive in Jamestown, Virginia, aboard a Dutch ship. 1650, race-based slavery codified into colonial law, hereditary, perpetual, racialized. 1662, partus sequitur ventrum. Virginia law makes children inherit slave status from the mother, ensuring self-reproducing enslaved labor. 1705, Virginia slave codes. Enslaved people legally classified as real estate, not persons. 1793, cotton gin invention. Slavery expands explosively. 700,000 enslaved in 1790. 4 million by 1860. 1808, international slave trade banned. Domestic slave trade explodes. Estimated 1 million black people sold internally. Families destroyed. 1850, Fugitive Slave Act forces free state citizens to return escaped enslaved people. Kidnaps free black people into slavery. 1857, Dred Scott v. Stanford. Supreme Court rules black people had, quote, had no rights which the white man was bound to respect, unquote. 1863, Emancipation Proclamation excludes border states and Union occupied territory. So as you can see, in 1705, black people were legally slaves, enslaved people. So you put it into law. You codified it into law. They said, we ain't even people. That's the type of stuff right there that got me years ago when I read that. It got me on the path that I'm currently on. Because they want you to pledge allegiance to this flag, but they want you to ignore all the bullshit that they done historically. That's why they're trying to erase history. That's why they're trying to get rid of books. You know, and I'm just keeping this strictly pertaining to black people. I'm not talking about the Trail of Tears and all the genocide committed against Native Americans. But then in 1808, the slave trade was banned. So what did they do? The international slave trade was banned. And what did they do here in America? Well, we're just going to force breed and make the slave population explode, which is what they did. It's like, hey, we can't get slaves internationally. Well, we're going to pump up the numbers that we already have here. Then in 1850, Fugitive Slave Act. I know you've seen these. I'm just going over them in detail because it's like these were laws. These were on the books. They tell everybody to follow the law like the law is moral. These laws aren't built on morality. Sure, some may be, but not most of them. All the laws that benefit the rich. Tell me, how is that moral? When you have so many poor people in this country, when you have so many people that are starving, tell me, how is it morally just to create loopholes for rich people to not have to pay taxes and write the tax code in such a way that the average person could not understand that they would have to pay? They would have to pay someone to interpret the vague tax law, because it's not meant for the average person. See, this can spiral into a bunch of different areas, but these were laws against black folk. So from the beginning, from its inception, the country never loved us. The country never gave a fuck about black people. It never loved us. But you somehow expect us to love the country. And people will say, well, that was back then. That was then. Oh, those people they're gone. They had children. They had children. Racism is taught. It's in a lot of y'all's DNA, especially the way that y'all talk down to black people in this day and age. You see, with the whole Carmelo Anthony incident, those white boys felt justified. You felt like, because it was in your genetic code, because it was in your DNA, to boss black people around. You felt like you had the authority to go ask him to move. You don't own the tent. You own school property. You don't own shit. But you had the caucasity to tell someone else to move when you don't own shit. And he lost his life because of it. I'm not going to get into that whole debate, but the point I'm making is Eddie Glaude said he had love for the people in the country, not necessarily the country itself, but the people is what make up the fucking country. I don't have love for the people of this country. I don't hate y'all either. I'm just treating you according to how you've treated black people, but in a much nicer way. I just keep my distance from y'all. That's it. I'm not out here plotting and planning some actions against y'all. For what? Y'all are in control of the courts. You think I'd stand a chance? Come on now. Much smarter than that. Yes, I put my views out publicly. This is a social commentary channel. So I put my views out publicly, and people are going to disagree, and you don't have to agree with what I'm saying, because this shit ain't for you. You know, for the white people who come and troll and leave all types of ignorant ass comments under my videos or whatever and whatnot, it's like, yeah, this is not for you. It's talking about you, which is why you don't like it. Right? It's not for you. Black people not loving this country is nothing new. It's something that we maybe not expressed publicly in the past. More people are starting to express it now because, well, why the fuck not? Everybody else can come out and talk about how much they hate black people and keep calling us niggas and all type of shit. Why is that okay? Well, you do it. Well, you're not me. And you're not us. And whatever word that we use amongst each other ain't got shit to do with you. It's not your word to use. Not anymore, anyway. All the pain behind that word when someone that is not the complexion of us uses that word, that ancestral trauma creeps up. Because for some black people who were eliminated in years past, that was the last thing they heard. And you are supposed to think that it's okay for you to call us that word. No matter what we do amongst each other, it's got nothing to do with you. That's y'all problem. Y'all always in black people business. And again, you don't have to agree with my opinions. I'm still an American. I was still born here. And yes, my ancestors were enslaved. That's the difference. I'm not no anchor baby or none of that shit. I've tracked my lineage in this country to the year 1832. That's as earliest as we can find it. 1832. My people were enslaved. Period. You guys look at it as you guys are always playing the victim. You know why? You know why we talk as much shit as we talk? You know why we say the things that we say? You want me to love a country who abused and murdered my people for centuries. And you don't even have the fucking decency to give us our reparations. You don't even have the decency to give cash payments to the descendants. You make all these fucking cockamamie, stupid ass excuses, but then your stupid president is going to give $300 billion to Iran. I'm sorry, Iran. Y'all got money for everything. Y'all got money for bombs, all types of weapons, but you ain't got money to make the people who y'all wronged in this country right. And you will always forever have these problems because you refuse to do right by the people that you've wronged. Now, I'm not the authority. I don't speak for every single black person. You do have some raccoons out here who are going to side with you. It is not hard to go out here and find somebody like an Officer fucking Tatum that are going to uphold white supremacy. He's been shunned by our community. He's not supported. He's not accepted. He's a fucking clown. No one takes him serious. Nobody respects him. Nobody of importance, nobody who actually matters, respects him. It's not hard to go out there and find somebody that's going to shook and jive for y'all. Yes, sir, boss. Yes, sir, master. It's not hard to go find one of them. I'm pretty sure they love the country. They probably sleep in American flag fucking bed sheets and wear American flag drawers. Yeah, because they ain't got no self-respect because they don't know the history. And even if they do know the history, they just, we just gonna forgive and forget. Yeah, that's what you want. That's a prime example of the docile mess that y'all have created. Y'all have tried for centuries to make us docile. And sure, it's easy to pick some of us off. It's easy to pick some of us off. Not denying that. But black people have always had a rebellious stature to them. We've always had a rebellious nature in regards to what these white people are doing in this country. We've always rebelled against it. That's why they don't tell a lot of the stories about how many black people actually fought back in the time of slavery. Of course, you're not going to want to tell those stories because why? Why would you want that getting out there? You don't want that to spread. Psychotic mind games to make the black population docile. And all the things they've done to us in this country. And I have more examples. But the video's getting too long. So, I'll just say this. I don't love the country. I don't love the country because of the people that are in it, that are anti-black and spew anti-black racism. That's why I don't love the country. That's why I don't. And it's systemic because the same people who have those views, the same people who have those anti-black, anti-black racist views, those are the same people that get into positions of power. And then they use those views to become law, which is what you can clearly see that they've done in the past. You see, whatever you are is going to come out if you ever get any type of power. That's why you see all these police officers who unalive black people. Most of the time, they had that in them. Most of the time, they had something like that in them. Now, I've been roughed up by police. I've been roughed up by police a lot in my life. Not because I'm some fucking violent criminal. Not because I'm some degenerate, somebody who's out here doing bad. No. A lot of times I was just minding my own business. And they just come fucking with me. But I'm still alive. Thank God. I've had plenty of bad interactions with police. Not because it was bad on my end. I'm complying. I'm following what you say. How many times have my vehicles been illegally searched? How many times have I been slammed on the hood for no fucking reason? Slammed up against a wall. I've had guns put to my head for no fucking reason. Because you suspect me of selling drugs and you never found shit because I ain't never sold drugs. I've never been in that life. I say that publicly. I've never been in that life. I was a fucking nerd. I The blurred who went to school, who liked to draw, who liked video games, who stayed out of trouble. But you thought I was, because I was in the community, I thought I was one of them. And the way the police see black people is the way the country sees black people. So how in the fuck do you expect me to love a country like that? Stay woke. And for those that hate it, I hope you stay woke even longer. That we're going to keep saying stay woke. Because that's gonna be how I end my videos, telling black people to stay woke. They can demonize our words. They can try to take away every little thing we do. It's not going to stop us, and they know that. They haven't been able to stop us all these years. They're not going to be able to do it now. So yeah, I'm going to say it with my motherfucking chest. Stay woke. And be blessed.